most cymbals get thinner towards the edge. Then you also have the curvature of the bottom. I think Matt mentioned this. Hammered cymbals, when you're hitting them, not only does it compress the metal, but it expands it sideways. So as you're hitting it, it gets wider and wider. So this expansion of the cymbal causes the cymbal to become more curved downward from the bell. It could be more flat, airing a lower pitch, or giving a lower pitch, or more round, giving a higher pitch. All right. Cymbal characteristics. There are 5 of these as well. Now, the first one is size. Okay, so we're going to do a little demonstration here, and I'm going to have this young man come on up here. Don't be shy. Come on up, dude.
Mateo.
We're going to come over here. We're going to go right over to these cymbals right here. Get a pair of sticks here. Take one of these, sir. All right. Make sure I got enough leeway here. Good. All right. So, now, the larger a cymbal, as you would imagine, the more volume you're going to have it produces. And usually it will sustain longer. So, I don't know if anybody's ever done this test, but we're going to do it right here. This is a 20-inch power bill ride by Feisty. Nobody's going to take this thing. Don't think about stealing it. I know you've seen this thing, so you want it. But whatever. I have a dark thin crash, 17-inch K, and I have a 19-inch custom A, Zilch. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to hit that thing. All right. Just hit it once, and then I'm just going to let my stick rest on it. Okay. And what's going to happen? You're going to see it's how it sustains. Okay, so go ahead and hit that thing. Still going. Okay, but now, while it still has not fully volume, everybody's able to hear it audibly there. If you were to take your ear and put it next to it, go ahead. Without touching it, it's still going, right? Okay. And it's probably going to keep going for quite some time unless you touch it and stop it, because that's, again, it's just, if you were to look at a sound wave, basically what it does, and, well, actually, I'll get to that in a minute. We won't go there for that. Now, if you do the same thing with this, it's already stopped moving, all right? But it's still got the tone going, but as far as the actual sustain, not as much. So it's almost like thinking of it like a Bose cymbal, a Bose speaker. They get this big sound out of like this little tiny thing. I wish, one of these days they'd actually make like little tiny cymbals that like have this big sound. That would be awesome. I mean, you can forget about having to worry about breaking your back, having to carry like 80+ pounds of cymbals, and you can have the volume too. So that's pretty much my test regarding that. So what's your name, sir? Mateo. Mateo. Thank you very much. Mateo, everybody, Mateo. Thank you, sir. So basically, that's regarding the actual size of the cymbal. Now, just like we just worked on that over there, the thinner a cymbal gets, the more responsive it'll be, but the thicker it is, the more sustained. So that ride is the thicker of the cymbals, and that thing kept going, and it's probably still ringing if I were to put my ear to it right now. That crash cymbal is a thin cymbal, and it's probably stopped by now. So now with weight, it's kind of a complex relationship between the thickness of the cymbal, which also contributes to its sound. Now the rule is, if you were to have 3 cymbals of the same shape but different sizes, thin, medium, heavy, all right? Difference in weights and thickness. Usually the heavier the cymbals is going to have the higher pitch, okay? If you were to look at, or be able to look at, a waveform of a cymbal, basically you hit the thinner cymbal, it's going to have a slower vibration. It would look something like this. Okay. Now, and to have more, it would equal more bass tones. And if you were to hit a cymbal that's a thicker cymbal, it's going to have a higher vibration. If you look at that waveform, it would be more like this. Okay. And it's going to equal more higher frequencies. Bell size is usually relative to the overall cymbal size. Okay, cymbals with smaller bells will have a drier sound, while those with a larger bell are more lively. So that power bell ride is much brighter than my soul tone because of the bell that it has. It's quite larger than what I have. Then you have the curvature and bow, which is the former shape. Now again, if you were to look at the side view of a cymbal, it would show you its bow and how flat or rounded it is. The rule is kind of the same as with the others, whereas the flatter the cymbal, the lower the pitch. A flat cymbal has, again, a slower vibration. So when struck, it equals lower frequencies. More rounded cymbal when struck has a faster vibration, giving it a higher frequency. That's pretty much it regarding the makeup of cymbals and history and whatnot. So if anybody had any questions, I can answer those for you. And then I was kind of going to go out with one last tune.